The 3 best business books of this year. What are the 3 best business books of this year? Have you ever imagined what the world would be like if developing yourself were an unavoidable focus of thought and discussion in our country or planet? If it were normal. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam and we're trying to make self-growth normal. If that's something you'd be interested in, please make sure to hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button just so we can help, spread these ideas. But let's get into it. And when I say this year, like Think and Grow Rich and Richest Man in Babylon, those are simply not going to cut it. Because those were not written when you could order Taco Bell and have it show up at your doorstep less than an hour later, when the time you first meet the love of your life is anywhere but in person, and when you could make arts and crafts in Toronto and sell them to someone who lives in Beijing. And when, well, you get my point. These books reflect entrepreneurship in our era. Maybe one or two, the dawn of our era, but they still apply because they're very future conscious and they don't stick within the boundaries of, this can only happen today. They explore possibilities of what you can do now and later, and why similar things have worked in the past, but only similar things, not the same exact things. Number 3. Side Hustle by Chris Guillebeau. Probably heard this term before, side hustle. It's basically a job on the side. A lot of people seem to have it. Some people say that the middle class is disappearing. Some say it has disappeared. I would say it's somewhere in between. I think that's another reason why it's so important to educate yourself. Education does not end in school. Coming from someone who didn't even go to college, of course, but the author of this book says that the side hustle is the new job security. Isn't that crazy to think about? And that no matter what your job is, you need a side hustle unless you own Amazon or something like that. He says what to do and not to do when it comes to side hustles. The biggest criteria is that it has to be feasible, profitable, and, what is that word? Persuasive. In this book, you're going to learn about what makes a side hustle scalable. There are things people have done in this book. It's like that girl from 1,000 Pound Sisters. There are things you can do, but there are things that people have done in order to make, no offense to the people in the South, I love Southern accents. There are things people have done in this book that have made thousands and tens of thousands of dollars every month in passive income. What would you do if you had $10,000 every month in passive income? Passive income, not from your main job. I bet you think about that sometimes. I'm sure that you probably think about, like, what would I do if I had $10,000 in my bank account every month from passive income? I really wonder. I would hope that you're at least smashing the like button, because that's free. But the different sites that you can do these side hustles on, and notice how I'm saying sites, because like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I have a side hustle and I'm doing this, and it's just like manual labor. Like when you do business on the internet, it's a whole different ballgame. It really, really is. But the different sites the different sites that you can do these on are beginning to require less and less physical resources. Like I said, it's a whole different ballgame. So like newer age, newer era, newer age ways to make money are revealed in this book. Number 2, The Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk. Came out before Gary V blew up. He just exploded, and he's still alive. But this happened before he, exploded. I don't know what his content is like now. If you've seen my reviews on his books, you know my thoughts on him. To sum it up, the most impressive thing about this man from a value-driven standpoint, aside from, this is even more impressive than his public speaking skills. It is his very unique ability to accurately, almost uncannily, predict trends in digital media. And it's impressive to me because really think about this. Really think about it. How do you predict trends in social media? It's not like the weather. And plenty of meteorologists probably get paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to predict the weather wrong. So Gary Vee has a leg up on meteorologists. Watch out, meteorologists. Here comes Gary Vee. Meteorology. That was stupid. Pretend the last 10 seconds never happened, okay? This is the book that got me to start taking social media very seriously. What is so amazing about it is that with automation on the rise, a byproduct of this new business era where everything is taking place on the internet, people wanting to spend less and less time on their business and more time on an island whale watching and drinking mimosas and appletinis and margaritas and other strangely named drinks that have not the highest alcoholic content in the world, but are nonetheless probably very delicious, many of us long more in ways that we maybe never did for care from companies, being cared about, being shown by companies that we are human and we are cared about. And I can't stress that enough. This book, it really stresses the importance of empathy in ways that almost no other business books do. In the digital age, that cannot be stressed enough. This guy is a very firm believer in depth over width when it comes to making an impact on a customer's life and customer service and customer treatment and a lot of other things that sound kind of like the same things. But that's very unconventional right now, it seems, because again, as automation is on the rise and people just they want to be free, so they automate their businesses and everything is just like email blast after email blast, and it seems so insincere to so many people. It is becoming very seductive of an option to try to serve as many people as possible. But what's that saying? When you try to catch 2 rabbits at once, you don't catch any? I don't know. Number 1, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, written by a PayPal co-founder, early Facebook and SpaceX investor. This guy is a contrarian. He really is. If you don't agree with him, chances are the reason why he thinks what he thinks that you don't agree with, you might agree with. And as a result of that, this book is a compilation of golden insights that if you look up, in 2060 or something, if you look up like the top business books of the 21st century, this may very well be closer to the top of the list. It's just outstandingly action-packed with forward thinking, and there's plenty about what not to do that you won't find in other books. We're not told to just try what's worked in this book. Pick a truth that people are not considering now, but you are willing to bet they will sometime in the near future. This is what every visionary does, at least true visionary who really makes things happen. You build a business around that truth by becoming a big fish in a small pond, and then you become a monopoly from there. Sure, monopolies, they're evil monopolies, corporate greed, raise the minimum wage. It's good that they are raising the minimum wage, but monopolies can be good. Think Google or Facebook. You gotta be careful though. Apple and Amazon are probably not as monopolistic, but what they do, they seem to be doing better than Facebook and Google at what those companies do, since they're able to keep up more easily with investors' scrutiny and bad press and whatnot. But this is like large company scaling 101 in the 21st century, and it's completely proven. Like, Peter Thiel has mentored people like Russell Simmons and Jeremy Stoppelman with Yelp, Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jared Karim with YouTube, and Reid Hoffman with LinkedIn. YouTube, as of 2020, is worth up to $170 billion, 170 in the US. Yelp is worth almost $3 billion. I couldn't find the valuation of LinkedIn, but I did see that Microsoft bought them in 2016 for $26 billion. So that should mean something. The most valuable information in this book, though, is the 7 questions that every entrepreneur should ask him or herself. I'm pretty sure I go over those questions in my review of the book. But those are, to me, the best business books this year. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button so you can see all the great content that we're putting out. We want to make self-growth normal. It really helps spread these ideas. If you guys could hit that notification bell as well to get a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. If you guys buy anything through the links in the description, then I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making the videos. And please let me know if there are any other, little lists of best books on this or this that I can do and provide some more info. But stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, you can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.